From the secret vault to the never-ending amount of Coca Cola products out there, here are 15 strange facts about Coca Cola. But first, we'd like to give a shout out to Joanne, who did an amazing intro for the Demons video. Way to go. Go ahead and give yourself a pat on the back. Number 15. Special ingredients. Coca-Cola was invented in 1886 by John Pemberton, which was at first supposed to be a brain tonic to help with concentration or focusing on work. He took certain ingredients from the cola nut as a source of caffeine and another extremely controversial ingredient that wouldn't be legal to this day. Coca-Cola contained cocaine until 1903 in varying amounts. Eventually, they had to get rid of it when opinions of cocaine became more negative. Coca-Cola to this day still hopes to give people a jolt of energy, but with the caffeine instead of cocaine, it's a little bit less fun. Number 14. The Coca Plant. So now we know where the word cola comes from. What about the coca part? You might have noticed coca mysteriously sounds like cocaine. That's because cocaine comes from the Coca Plant. Although Coca-Cola doesn't admit to having any illegal drugs in their soda, you have to wonder why so many people are hooked on it. During an interview in 1988, a spokesperson stated that ingredients from the Coca Plant are actually used to this day. It takes chemical breakdown process to break down the leaves into a cocaine paste and then eventually into the powder substance. Coca-Cola denies any claims about doing this. Chewing the coca leaves, however, is practiced often by the people of Peru as a way to burst energy. Other ancestors of the Incas have been known to make mate de coca, which is a tea brewed with coca leaves that have stimulant-like effects. Many have used it to combat elevation sickness and is a popular drink among inhabitants of the Andes Mountains. Number 13. The secret recipe. Many of us are quite curious what Coca-Cola is putting in their drink that imitators are dying to get their hands on. Sure, they put some ingredients on the labels of their drink, but that's not telling the whole story or how much of it is used. The company persistently insists that although a few recipes have been released, the company holds on to the secret recipe that only a very select few actually know about. There are, of course, quite a few different versions of Coca-Cola, including the Mexican Coke, which is sweetened with the cane sugar. Also, don't forget about Vanilla Coke and Pepsi Cola. The Coca-Cola Vault in Atlanta, Georgia is open to the public, but you can bet your money that they aren't going to let you inside. It's more than likely that they are doing something with the Coca Plant that they don't want people to know about. Number 12. The Vault. For over 25 years, countless attempts to copy Coca-Cola's success have been attempted, with the closest imitator being Pepsi. Back in those days, you'd be surprised what kind of things people would be willing to do to get their hands on something like this. The vault itself appears to require handprint scanning, and it looks like it was built by a bank to store money. The company built a multi-million-dollar vault in Atlanta, which only 2 people have access to. Some also believe that the secrecy around the vault and the recipe is done as a marketing ploy in order to get more people to buy it more often. Number 11. Mr. Pibb and Dr. Pepper. There's a never-ending debate on which one is better, Mr. Pibb or Dr. Pepper, or if they just taste the same. There's quite a bit of competition between the 7-Up company who produces Dr. Pepper and the Coca-Cola company who distributes Mr. Pibb. Coca-Cola was actually sued by Dr. Pepper in 1972 for trademark infringement by making what was known as Peppo. They decided to call it Dr. Pibb after that, and then they got sued again. Finally, Mr. Pibb was the name that was agreed upon by Dr. Pepper, and eventually everything was okay. Maybe since Coca-Cola was the one that was copying people, they're worried that someone was going to do it to them, so that's why they built the expensive safe. Number 10. Competitors for life. Pepsi is ultimately Coca-Cola's biggest rival, and they certainly have no tolerance for treason. This is the case for an employee who was actually fired for drinking Pepsi on his spare time. A truck driver for Coca-Cola products, wearing full uniform, finished a delivery at a store in California. The man took a break there and opened up a Pepsi. Someone saw the incident unfold, and it was reported to Coca-Cola. The man had worked there for 12 years and had a clean record with Coca-Cola before they decided to fire him. They claim he was actually embarrassing the company, especially since he was in public. And you thought your boss was bad. Yikes. Number 9. We are healthy. Coca-Cola actually spent $1.5 million in order to convince doctors to tell people that Coca-Cola wasn't unhealthy and that they don't need to remove it from their diets. Most scientists might say something like people should remove soft drinks and fast food from their diets in order to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Coca-Cola and other producers of unhealthy products such as Hershey and Pepsi wanted GEBN, or Global Energy Balance Network, to state that the reason people were getting fat was because they weren't exercising enough and not from the soft drinks. Their funding seems to have worked a little bit, and Coca Cola now spends millions of dollars on advertising to athletes, like we see in this one during the Olympics. We have 2 athletes drinking Coca Cola. Number 8. Groundwater depletion. 18 Indian villages have accused a Coca Cola bottling plant of completely depleting their groundwater supply in order to mass produce their popular beverage. Coca Cola is a symbol to many that represents Western capitalism, and there's no doubt that they want to sell their products all around the world. They ship to over 200 different countries, so they obviously need some bottling plants in other countries to stay competitive. Over 18 local villages claim that they are experiencing water shortages, and they believe the reason their crops aren't growing is because of them. Many will say that they're profiting off the misfortune of starving poor villagers of this crucial resource. It's unclear whether or not they are just looking for someone to point the blame at, but many feel as though Coca-Cola owes something to the nearby townspeople nonetheless. Number 7. Morphine addiction treatment. The man who created Coca-Cola, John Pemberton, was wounded during the Civil War and received morphine to cure himself from the injuries. He later on got addicted to morphine and felt a need to stop using it. He found inspiration from French coca wine, which was similar to that of the coca leaf tea we mentioned earlier. This was meant to give him a boost of energy and not have to deal with the painful withdrawal of morphine. Pemberton told that the soft drink was actually a cure for a neurological disease and even for impotence. Number 6. How much do we drink? It's estimated that each year, an American will actually drink 10 pounds of pure sugar each year. That's roughly 1.7 million for the entire country. The average American drinks 399 servings of Coca-Cola each year, so due to these statistics, it's estimated that roughly half of the sugar that enters the body comes from Coca-Cola or Coke products. Of course, everyone's diet is different, but certainly that is accounting for quite a bit of sugar. Many Americans claim to drink more than 2 glasses of soda per day. If you want to put it in another perspective, an average person drinks 44.7 gallons of soda each year, which is 16 more gallons than bottled water. The average Mexican person drinks more Coca-Cola per year than most Americans and British people combined by a long shot, making them the country that consumes the most Coke. It's easy to see that Coca-Cola and other soft drink companies care a little bit more about profits than you getting diabetes. Number 5. The money. The Coca-Cola brand alone is worth an estimated $74 billion. That's more than Budweiser, Pepsi, Starbucks, and Red Bull combined. If Coca-Cola were a country, they would have a higher GDP and a better economy than the entire country of Costa Rica. In fact, they'd be the 84th most profitable country in the world. Although recently, Pepsi has been slightly more favored, Coca-Cola was able to generate more soft drink revenue. They spend more money advertising than Microsoft and Apple combined. It's estimated that 1.8 billion Coke bottles are sold each day, and their average enterprise is worth an estimated $189.2 billion, including all the various drinks they sell. Number 4. Coca-Cola collectors. In addition to the vast amount of money from selling their soft drinks, they make a considerable amount of money selling merchandise and collectibles as well. The iconic logo Coca-Cola exhibits has become a popular item to collect and has actually become a symbol of American pride. Much of the memorabilia is highly sought after by collectors, and some people are willing to fork over big cash for it, even if it doesn't contain the sugary beverage. T-shirts, stuffed animals, keychains, you name it. Even this neon lamp is available for purchase from Coca-Cola. This guy we see here has the largest collection of Coca-Cola cans, and just the cans. You can tell from this photo, he's a little bit crazy for Coke. With over 10,000, he has the largest collection of cans from a single brand in the world. Number 3. Brand recognition. No matter where you go, whether it's the tribes of Nigeria or the children of China, there's a 94% chance they recognize the Coca-Cola logo. You might not be able to speak Chinese at all, but if you tell them Coca-Cola, they'll know exactly what you're talking about. Now that is some serious brand recognition right there. According to some sources, it's actually the second most understood term in the world, just behind OK. That's just incredible. When someone's got a company that nearly everyone on the face of the planet actually knows about, you got yourself a good marketing team, no matter how unhealthy the product is. Number 2. The varieties are endless. The Coca-Cola company makes so many different types of beverages that if you decide to try one each day, it would take you 9 years to complete this taste testing. Coca-Cola has a product list of more than 3,500 beverages and 500 brands. This includes sodas to energy drinks to even soy-based drinks and all kinds of brands of different water. Many different things are owned by Coca-Cola, including Dasani, Minute Maid Juices, Powerades, Simply Orange, vitamin water, smart water, and the list goes on and on and on. It's very possible you're drinking a Coca-Cola product right now as we're watching this video. And number 1, all kinds of uses. People have found all kinds of uses for this mysterious drink, and do-it-yourselfers are using it to do things such as kill insects, slugs, snails, and other more handy things such as loosen rusty bolts, clean car batteries, and even toilets like we see in this photo. Other life hacks included defrosting windshields, removing stains from fabric, removing oil spots from your driveway, removing gum from your hair, and also for cooking. And of course, you can drink it, we suppose, but that's not quite as interesting.
Hey guys, thanks for watching, and be sure to hit that subscribe button for new videos every day.